Today we're taking a look at the small, fast and agile attack ship, the Raider. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fractured Space with Down to Earth Astronomy. In today's ship review we're taking a look at the Raider, which we have here in front of us. As you can see, it's a fairly small ship, fairly quick and fairly agile, with some good attack stats. But let's first go over and have a look at the loadouts. Then we're going to look at some crew members, and at the end we're going to see a very quick battle, so we can see how the ship actually performs in some real combat. But first, the loadout. As you can see here, you have quite a few options, and this ship has a lot of very unique abilities, and we're just going to go over them one at a time. The main weapon, and almost you do have missiles, but apart from that, it's pretty much your only source of damage, which you should rely on, I think, is your beam, which is it's an aim and fire beam weapon that you can fire all around the ship. It has good turret traverse, so you can move it fairly quickly. And we can see here all the beams have pretty close to the same stat. They all have a range of 10 kilometers. They all have an optimal range of 4.5 kilometers, meaning if you go over the 4.5, you're going to begin to lose damage. They all have a beam duration of 2 seconds, and they have a pulse frequency of 0.1 seconds. That means you're going to be able to pulse this thing 20 times during a single use. And with a base cooldown of only 3.4 seconds, which is the same for all the three variants here, you can fire these fairly quickly again. The damage is the only thing that changes across these the three versions of the weapon. The main one just do 30 points of damage. That's it. End of story. Then you have the second one, which does 26 points of damage, but it has 6 damage that is over time. And that's over time per 2 seconds. So those 6 damage will be gradually given to the target over the next 2 seconds. And remember that this is per pulse. So you have to multiply all of these values with 20 to get the number that you're going to get from a single use of the beam. So you can see it can actually do some significant damage. This is by far the most high damage version. The one I've been using so far is this one that do slightly less damage. Still the 26, the same as here, but instead of having the damage over time, you get 10 damage dedicated to armor damage. This should help you get through the armor just that little bit faster. Because of course it is the highest damage weapon if you look at it all in all. But again, some of the damage is dedicated to armor. So as soon as you get through the armor, this one's of course gonna perform less efficient than it would if you were using one of the other options, of course. Then probably the most notable feature of the Raider is the shield wall. This is again an activating ability, so you activate it, and then it has a duration. In this case, with the stock one, it has a 20-second duration and a cooldown of 30 seconds. Remember, those 30 seconds starts with after the duration, so it's not only a 10-second downtime. It is a 30-second downtime. What this is it opens a small shield around your ship, or only in the direction that you're actively pointing with your camera. So as you're looking around, you can move the shield around, and you will probably see that once we get into some combat in a little bit. But what that means is the same goes with the beam laser. So you cannot engage one target and have the shield point towards another target. You have to have, if you want to use both at the same time, you have to have your shield and your laser pointing in the same direction. That's very, very important to note. And of course, this shield has a limited size, so it will not cover the whole ship. So when using these shields, generally using the Raider, you need to get fairly close to get the optimal, within the optimal range, get the most out of your weapon. But it works very well if you can keep all your enemies at the same side, or if you can attack a single enemy at the time. Because this is a fairly lightly armored ship, I would often try to use this as a damage support ship. I'll try to go with something heavy or some other damage ship, and then use my mobility to get in and out of cover, and then use the shield to mitigate some of that incoming damage. Because that shield, when it's up, it will mitigate all damage. It will completely block all the damage that's gonna get shot at you from that direction, as long as it hits the shield. But again, remember, if they have missiles that can get in that arc and get around you, they will still be able to hit you. Okay, so the shield comes again in 3 variants. We have the shield wall, which have a 20-second duration and a 30-second cooldown. Then we have the short shield wall, which have a 10-second duration and only a 15 seconds. So it's basically the same, but all the times have been halved. So in this case, you would have 10 seconds. In this case, you would have 20 seconds. That depends on your playstyle. And then, of course, we have the focused shield wall, which has a longer duration, a longer base cooldown, but the shield is smaller, so you will not be able to. You need to be more accurate when it comes to protecting yourself from enemies. And of course, you will have that extended cooldown after you use the shield, so you have to wait for longer before you can actually go into combat again if you want to use this shield. Then you have a selection of 3 different utilities. You have the standard radar mines, which is proximity mines that you shoot out and have a volley of 8 of them. Decent damage, decent cooldown, detonation range of half a kilometer. Then the mark target pulse, which is my favorite. It just adds to the whole support theme of this, of the way I like to play it as a damage support ship. The mark target is a pulse, and it hits every enemy ship within 8 kilometers. That's a very, very good range. And for the next 10 seconds, they're gonna take 15% increased damage, and that's from every source, also your friendly ships. So I think this is a very, very good option, especially if you play this as a damage support ship, as I like to do. And then, of course, we have the impact grenades, pretty much close to the same. There's a magazine-fired grenade system that you can use to fire out, and they will do some very decent damage, and they have a slightly longer range. Then we come to the missiles. Standard radar missiles, 18 kilometer range, 12 missiles per volley, and 120 damage per missile with a 20-second cooldown. So this is a pretty standard missile solution as you would expect to find on many ships in the game. Then one of the upgrades here, you get slightly longer range, but look at this, you get reduced damage. Now only 105 damage per missile and only 10 missiles. So what you gain here is, of course, you lose some of the damage, but you gain more range and you gain faster missile speed. Look at this. 3 kilometers per second on this one, 5 kilometers per second on this one. So if you are planning to shoot targets far away, or if you feel like the missiles are too slow, you can upgrade and you can get some faster ones. Then of course there's the radar torpedoes. They do an absolutely insane amount of armor damage. As you can see here, 2000 armor damage when it hits. It's a single torpedo, but look at the flight time here, 15 seconds, and only flies at 1500 meters per second. This is a very, very, very slow missile. But when it hits, it's absolutely going to wreck your enemy's armor. So you could go with a radar torpedo and then go with the plasma beam to the increased damage. But the problem is, of course, I would probably try to use the torpedo in a little bit closer range because of the long travel time, the short flight speed, or the low flight speed. But problem is, of course, when you hit them, you will only strip the armor on the side that you hit them, and that means you have to stay on that side to actually get through. But I guess it's the same thing here. If you begin to strip the armor, you have to try and stay on that side. But you could be unlucky that the missile would fly an arc and then hit them at the front or at the top or anywhere else. The side that you're actually on, you would have to move to that side to actually be able to get some damage in. So I think these are a little bit more difficult to play with than just the standard missiles, just some extra damage. But you can add them if you feel like it's something you would want to use. And then one of my absolute favorite things about this, I think that's the shield, but I like this one as well very much, is a detection buoy. You deploy it; it flies in the designated distance, designated direction for 5 kilometers, and when it deploys, it adds an area of effect with a radius of 3 kilometers, and everything within those 3 kilometers will automatically be detected. That includes cloaked ships. So you can decloak ships with this buoy, and this is something that I find myself using quite often, especially when you want to try and get out of a sector. You know there was a cloaked ship spotted. Deploy this buoy in the direction you're expecting him to be. So if that cloaked ship were to try and approach you, you would get a heads-up warning, hopefully giving you enough time to get your shield up and protect yourself from the incoming damage that will, of course, be coming as soon as you see a ship decloaking next to you. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's have a look at the crew members that I've set up for this ship. And here we have the crew. You can see very utility focused because we have all these nice utilities. We have We have all the buoys. We have the shield, especially the shield want some good recharge on that thing, so you can use it often. So you can see here, I've gone for lots of utility cooldown here by taking a utility officer. I've also gone for high mobility. So I've gone for an engineer here that gives me a better forward thrust to make the ship faster. Some good damage here on the captain. More maneuverability. Again, trying to get this ship to be as maneuverable to try and use the speed and maneuverability to mitigate some of the damage rather than the shield, in case I have it on cooldown. And then just, again, so we can get out of trouble a little bit faster or to be more mobile around the battlefield, I got a jump core officer here, so we get better jump performance. And when it comes to implants, I've gone for all 5 of the utility cooldown. Just want to get that shield up as fast as possible because it is really, really a strong point. And all the other utilities, of course, will also benefit from this. Some turn rate, and again, this is pretty much coming down to what I really have had left. I try to get some utility duration, again, giving me more time when the shield is up. A little bit of defense, and I've gone for quite a few of the extra attack damage, so I get more damage out of that beam laser. But anyway, that's the crew and the quick loadout of the ship. Let's go ahead and let's take this for a spin and see how it performs.
Take us out of here.
And we're off. So again, as I said, when we're looking at it in the hangar, I like to play this as a damage support ship. So initially here, I hold back at the base. I want to see how my teams are splitting up. I'm considering going to beta. We got a good split right now, so I decide to go over and have a look at Alpha, try to support my team over there. We already have a first contact spotted. I haven't managed to see what it is. Here we got a second contact spotted. We can see our Leviathan already opening up on their Ranger. I fire a missile solution at him. And it seems like it's all connected. We see decent amount of damage there early on. Right now way outside my option range, and here we go. Here comes the shield up. You can see all the damage that he's firing at me now is doing absolutely well, almost nothing. I am getting attacked by drones right now, which is where I'm getting the damage from right now. Then I begin to take some damage, and I notice this Black Widow below me, and I'm thinking, oh crap, this is not good. And there's my shield are now down, so now I'm in a lot of trouble. See, my shields are now down. I have to wait 20 seconds now before it's up. I begin to try to get some damage and begin to maneuver. I want to get out. Here comes missiles, and unfortunately that was a very bad start to this match for me. Maybe in that situation I should have hold back on the shield, but again I was taking fire from the enemy ship. So in hindsight, of course, if I've known that he was there, maybe I should have fired off the buoy to try and detect him. If I paid attention and known that he wasn't that he hadn't been detected, maybe I would have been a little suspicious. But anyway, luckily it's early on in the game, so we respawn fairly quickly. So I get back into the sector. Now I know that the Black Widow is here, and there he indeed is. I fire off my laser a little bit too early, warning him that I'm actually here. It looks like he's engaged with someone else, so I get a missile salvo off towards him, doing some decent damage. Now he's in range of our missiles. We break his armor, so now he should begin to take a decent amount of damage here. He gets in cover behind the mining outpost. Right now I'm overcommitting a little bit maybe, but I really want to get this guy down. Still holding my shield back. I'm not really taking damage here. So now we begin to look at this Centurion. Now that the Leviathan is down, I'm beginning to take damage. So you can see here, I'm trying to protect myself both from the damage from both of them. I'm constantly switching between the two, trying to dodge as much of the incoming fire as I can, trying to keep them on the same side of me. I could probably have gone for the protector here before I went for the Centurion, but he was so low armor, was afraid that he was going to get out. And here we go, second misplay from me. I had a missile solution ready. And he was on so low health when he got out. I could have killed this guy if I just fired off that missile solution. So it's just not been the best start for me, but we fall back to the base. We have 40 seconds until the first gamma sector unlocks. So I want to go back, want to get the upgrades, and want to get ready to get into the gamma sector. But even though I had a few misplays here at the beginning, I still hope that the showcased, especially that last engagement with Centurion and the Protector, how you need to hold back on your shield until you are in danger, and then get some distance. Make sure you keep them on the same side of you, so you can use the shield to alter between them as damage comes in. So here we see the Centurion has respawned, and our Leviathan is opening up. I fire off a pulse because I noticed this Black Widow give him some increased damage. And here you can see if I get too close, he's actually right now on the inside of the shield. So you need to keep some distance to them. Otherwise, if they get to the inside of your shield, they will just fire straight through it, because of course they're on the other side and they will not. The shield does not prevent them to go through it. So I keep my mobility up. I keep moving. I keep that laser going. There we go. He's down. Now, moving back, trying to get that Protector down. We need to get that support ship down. We already managed to cap Gamma at this point, so that's good. But you see here again, I'm moving out, so I have the two enemy ships on the same side of me. I still have 10 seconds until the shield is ready. Luckily, right now I'm on the back side of the Centurion shield, so I have a free shot on the Protector. But again, see here, the alpha damage of this ship is not the best, to be honest. But it really is one of those ships that just harasses people over time. Oh, got a little bit too close to the Centurion there, just as he got his charge pulse off. The Protector is very low here. I'm very keen on getting this guy down right now. There we go, he's dead. Centurion tries to jump out. I'm hoping I can get a missile solution off at him, but of course, nope. There was too much clutter in the way for that missile solution to hit. So I decided to jump out, because right now it seems like the enemies just keep flooding in to try to hold us there, to get us killed, and of course our home base is under attack. So I quickly tried to get inside the bubble, preventing them from capping. He actually managed to cap over 30% on his own before anybody managed to get back. So that was actually a pretty well executed attack there. So even though we are right now behind on points, we're still doing okay on. We're behind on the cap process, but we are in front on points. So we need to close jump acts and begin to put some pressure on them. We still hold the majority of the mining outposts, so that is good. And you'll see me here again. I always go to a sector where I know there are other ships. I want to play this as a damage support ship. You can't do this alone, but if you come up against a heavily armored ship, you're gonna have problems getting through his armor and doing enough damage. Because, as we talked about, this is not a high alpha damage ship. If I were a high alpha damage ship, I could probably use my mobility to swoop in between rocks and mitigate a lot of the damage by doing that, and then come out when I have my weapons ready to do that high alpha damage. But because we have this short recharge on the main weapon, we really need to keep ourselves with a line of sight to the enemy. I use this small rock to try and hide from incoming enemies, because I want to wait for the rest of my teammates to get up a little bit closer. I've gained some altitude here, hoping that if someone jumps in, that I'm not going to be the first one they're going to shoot at, because to be honest, I am pretty squishy with only. I mean, right now we're level 5. I'm level 5 right now. I have under 7,000 hit points, which is frankly not a lot. See, and I deployed the buoy here because I was a little afraid that the Black Widow would be here waiting for us. Probably should have deployed it above the cap zone. Is more likely where they tend to hide. But I deployed it where I did, and luckily he wasn't there. So now we begin our first attack on their base. You can see here I try to go in so I can get that pulse off and get myself in between. This is a way you can also do. You can put yourself in between you and the enemies, or allies and the enemies, so you can actually protect your allies. But I go down low, so I want to try and hide from as much of the incoming damage as I can. Try to do some damage to the base. Here comes the Centurion. Looks like he's been harpooned. There goes his pulse. I'm still taking damage from drones. Now they are actually beginning to cap our base, but they had a little bit of lead, but we managed to overtake them. So right now I'm realizing, oh crap, we can actually win this if we just get into cover. Because if I die, we're gonna slow down our cap process. So I go in, I hug the station, I try to mitigate as much of the incoming damage as I can. We are just past 95%. Their cap process halted, and there we go. That was a quick battle. That was a very, very quick battle. Even though it was a short battle, I still hope that it showcased some of the aspects that I tried to use this ship with. This is definitely a ship that I'm going to be playing way more of when doing my live streams. And I definitely hope you're gonna come by and have a look when I play, because I still have plenty of captain keys for captain packs to give away. I'm gonna give those out during my live stream, so subscribe to the channel. I'll try to announce ahead of time, both in Discord and Twitter and here on YouTube, when I'm gonna have these live streams so you get a chance to win one of these captain packs. But anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a like down below and consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys in space.